Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Sports Lovers. Today is the first video of the day. However, number one, the Atlanta Hawks are taking on the New York Knicks tonight in the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. We talked about the NBA Cup on our previous predictions video, so go check those out. Already got one game wrong, not looking to get another one wrong, but we are going to, I guess, a little bit preview the NBA Cup a little bit here later on the channel. But it is NBA Cup action tonight as we are taking on the Knicks in the Garden. It is going to be fun. Winner goes to Vegas. Trae Young, Jalen Brunson, all of that good stuff. And, of course, we got to rock out the jersey as well. Number two, it is college football, or it is NFL fantasy football playoff season. A lot of you guys are coming down to the wire. There's playoffs here and there for each league. I'm in the playoffs in my league in fantasy football, so of course that is right there as well. Got to win this week to get the championship game. So good luck to all of you in the NFL fantasy football playoffs when your time comes as well. And number three, welcome to the college football playoff prediction video, official college football playoff predictions. That is what we're going to do in the first video coming up here shortly. You guys are going to have some NFL predictions as well. So stay tuned for all of that and much more. But, however, before we get into it, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right in to these college football playoff predictions for the 2024 season. Alright, so here we are with the college football playoff bracket. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it on Sunday. We just have had other videos planned that we got to get through. So now is our official college football playoff prediction video as well on the channel. So starting us off in the first round of the college football playoff, the 12 seed versus the 5 seed. You got the Clemson Tigers going into the Texas Longhorns. This is in Austin. Keep in mind, all of the first round college football playoff games are on campuses. So Texas is going to be hosting Clemson at 3 o'clock, I believe, on December 21st on Saturday. And the winner will play Arizona State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. I got to go with Texas here. They're the better team. Yes, I know Quentin Ewers looks a little bit washed. I even have said that Quentin Ewers does look washed. However, when it comes to this Dabo Swinney, again, you can't count Dabo out. I think it's going to be a very close matchup just because, again, it's not a night game in Austin as well. So I think the atmosphere is going to be a little bit rocky. But I do like Texas to win this game over Clemson. They have the better built roster. Obviously, you got to utilize your weapons on the perimeter. Defense is always good for Texas. It's just about for Texas. Can they get the ball downfield to Clemson? I think they do, and I think that they win their college football playoff first round game and move on to take on Arizona State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl there. Now, Tennessee, the Vols, the Tennessee Volunteers going into the Ohio State Buckeyes at Buckeye Stadium. The winner is facing Oregon in the Rose Bowl. And, yeah, this one's going to be a fun one. I don't know who to pick. This game can be a toss-up either way. Ryan Day, I don't know how he's going to get up for this game. But, again, they're coming off a loss to Michigan. They've had a couple weeks to prepare. Obviously, Tennessee, I believe, is coming off of a win against Vanderbilt. They've had a couple weeks to prepare. So, both of these teams are going to be fine to get to this one. This game's going to be tough. It's going to be a close one. I think the quarterback experience is what takes over this game. I think with Will Howard and what he has done with that Ohio State offense does, in fact, show in this matchup. I think Ohio State wins this game and moves on to the next round to face off against Oregon in the Rose Bowl as well. I don't know. Could be a toss-up, but I do have Ohio State winning this matchup against Tennessee. I would love it for the SEC to get one team in there as well. But I think this is where Nico Ebialiava and the Vols do, in fact, come to an end, season comes to an end, and Ohio State does get the job done and move on to face Oregon in the Rose Bowl there. Now, let us go to Happy Valley, where we have a 11 a.m. start time on Saturday, December 21st. Even the Big Ten can't even get away with the college football playoff games being at 11 a.m. If this is the case, and Penn State's playing in the national championship on January 20th, just move the game to 11 o'clock. Like, come on, guys. What are we doing here? However, SMU going into Penn State, this one is interesting. Number one, How is James Franklin going to get up for this game? How are they going to get this team ready to show up and fight for their school in this game? James Franklin does not seem to win a big game. He's like 1-11 versus ranked opponents, losing to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. So they have to turn around, rest for a week, and then they play their bowl game, or their college football playoff first round game against SMU, a team who, might I add, looks like a college football playoff team in that second half against Clemson. Yes, they came off of a loss, but the offense looked really well. The defense played really well for SMU, holding Clemson to very minimal points in that second half. I think it's the key for SMU is going to be their defense. Can they contain Drew Allard in the pocket, and can they get some of their defensive line guys to collapse? I don't think they do. I think James Franklin finally wins a big game here, or quote-unquote big game, because, of course, it's the college football playoff. But I think that Penn State wins this game, and they move on to the next round to face Boise State in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl there. Now, let us go to the state of Indiana, where we have two teams from the same state playing in this matchup. This game is going to be a fun one. Indiana, Notre Dame. This is going to be a fun one. Winner plays Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl there. I think I got to go with Notre Dame here, first and foremost. I know, I get it. It's in the state of Indiana, so the Indiana fans, they're definitely going to show up and show out at Notre Dame Stadium. But, again, Marcus Freeman needs this win. Notre Dame needs this win. Riley Leonard needs this win as well. This game is going to be about how is Riley Leonard going to play. If he shows up and plays the quarterback that we saw in the Texas A&M game in the first game of the season, then they're definitely going to win this game. If he shows up like he did against Northern Illinois, then, well, we may be talking something different when it comes time for the first round reactions as well. I don't think that the second option happens. I think Riley Leonard, Texas A&M, Riley Leonard shows up, and I think that Notre Dame moves on to get the win here and faces Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Now, let us move to the quarterfinals here, where we have Texas versus Arizona State. Cam Skibido and the Arizona State, or Wildcats, I believe, facing the Texas Longhorns, if my math adds up correctly. This game could be a toss-up, man, really. But I think Texas, with them being in the SEC, playing a really tough schedule. Obviously, Arizona State, yes, is coming off a couple weeks of rest. I just think that Texas is going to win this game outright. I think they're going to blow Arizona State out and march easily into the semifinal matchups there. Now we have Ohio State and Oregon, the rematch from week number 3 of the college football season. This is going to be a fun one if it happens, man. This is going to be an all-offensive game just like the first one. Ryan Day, obviously, trying to get his revenge. Dan Lanning trying to move on to the semifinals. Oregon coming off a couple weeks of rest, there. Ohio State, on the other hand, they just had to play a first-round game, probably a very close first-round game. I think I'm going to go with Oregon here. Dan Lanning, I think that the Ducks get it done in the Rose Bowl, and I think they move on to the semifinals in the Cotton Bowl as well. Boise State taking on Penn State. Give me the Penn State Nittany Lions to move on to the semifinals. If you're asking me, the path to at least the college football playoff semifinals is there for the James Franklin. They got to play SMU, which could be an easy win. It's at home as well. It's a whiteout game. Number 2, you're playing Boise State. Yes, you got to play Ashton Jeanty and one of the Heisman Trophy favorites right now. But again, this game, I think that the defensive line for Penn State is pretty loaded with some NFL talent. I think that Penn State gets the job done on the road against Boise State. Well, not technically on the road, in the Fiesta Bowl against Boise State there in the college football playoff second round or quarterfinal matchup as well, and go on to the Orange Bowl there. Notre Dame, Georgia, give me Georgia here. It depends, really, what quarterback is going to show up. Number one, if they do start Carson Beck here, is it going to be a really good version of Carson Beck who we've seen throughout the past the first few weeks of the college football season? Is it going to be the second half of the college football playoff season Carson Beckett there. And then also, is it going to be Gunnar Stockton? Is Gunnar Stockton going to play in this college football playoff matchup? I still think Georgia has the caliber team to beat this Notre Dame team. I think the defensive line is what does it for against this Notre Dame team, and they should move on to the semifinals and in the college football playoff there. Now, our first semifinal matchup, if I have everything correctly, is Oregon versus Texas in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. This one is going to be a very, very close matchup, but I do got to give it to Oregon. This is where Texas' season is going to come to an end. This is where playing the dreadful SEC schedule is going to come into play. Oregon, they haven't had to play a very hard schedule yet recently. So, with that said, I think that Oregon wins this matchup, and I think Oregon gets to the national championship fairly easy there. Penn State versus Georgia. James Franklin, this is probably the biggest game of his coaching career, if you are asking me. I don't think he's up for the moment. I really don't. I got to go with Georgia here, and they will make the college football playoff, where we have Oregon versus Georgia, and my national champion will be the Oregon Ducks. I think Dylan Gabriel's got all the talent in the world. I think the wide receivers for Oregon are outstanding. I think the defensive backs for Oregon are outstanding. I like, obviously, Dan Lanning as a head coach. I like the scheme he runs. And I think Oregon is going to win the national championship and be crowned the national champions of the 2024 college football season. Alright, that is going to do it for the first video of the day. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Again, we will have, of course, NFL predictions coming out later today. Probably a 7 o'clock release time video for you guys who are wondering what time that video will drop. I've just been super busy all day, so I haven't really had a time to get these college football playoff predictions and NFL predictions out, but we should have them regardless by the end of the day. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Atlanta Hawks game day, obviously taking on Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks in the Garden. Going to be a fun one. I expect us to win. I expect Trae Young, Zachary Ray Shear to show up as well. And yeah, the Hawks are going to win that game. Mark my words. Thank you all so much for watching. If I don't see you in the next video, have a great rest of your day. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.